Welcome back to Bellwether. No, how's everybody doing out there? It's
And
crazy times are upon us, man.
that's
Crazy
an
times are upon us.
that's an understatement.
Man, we wanted to come live today and talk to everybody. It's interactive, so you get on here, you comment. We're going to talk to you. Um, be sure to like and share. Get as many people as you can watching. We just want to check on everybody, see how they're doing. Widener, how you and your family holding up in all the chaos?
I'm going out of my mind. No, we're doing good. We're doing great. I mean, we don't have any, not sick or anything like that, but just taking it day by day. I know why it's hard to work from home now. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like it is. It is not a dream.
So your grocery stores and all that is just picked clean, or how's it working up there?
Yeah. So actually, the Safeway by us that we go to is pretty. It is. It stayed pretty stocked up. I couldn't find eggs once, and of course toilet paper and paper towels, but we had enough at the house already. So,
Yeah,
what about yours?
yeah. Down here it's about the same thing. Paper towels, toilet paper go pretty quick. Although, if you're willing to stand in line a while at Sam's, you know, you don't really choose what you get. I mean, when it comes off the truck, they hand you out one a piece. One case a piece, and better be happy with whatever case you get. But I got my kids here with me, so I was willing to stand in that line to make sure that my girls had what they needed.
Sure.
But as far as food goes, man, we're doing okay. Now you can't find eggs. Something that I found that works just as good is you can go to down here we got HEBs and stuff like that. They have those egg whites that come in like the little milk cartons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what we've been substituting for eggs. I mean, and it's probably better for you than a full egg. But other than that, man, I mean, right now we're getting hit like crazy because oil prices just suck right now. I mean, they just kind of fell off the bottom. I mean, overnight. So, I mean, there's people getting laid off. There's people, getting their hours cut. They shut down all the restaurants. Now you can go through a drive-through or call in and bring it out to your car like curbside stuff, whatever. But as far as like going out to eat and stuff, that's all over. Found out today that Lake Amstead, they closed Lake Amstead, which is down South Texas, because it's a federal lake, and I guess Trump closed all the federal parks.
Yep. Rocky Mountain National Park's closed.
Wow. And it's crazy because, it's like I was talking to a buddy of mine, like he's a business owner. He was telling me a lot of his employees, instead of losing their jobs, are taking vacation. They're like, man, look, you don't even have to pay me. Just let me go on a vacation for a couple weeks. Let some of this stuff kind of clear up. And they were planning on going to the lakes with their family, just to kind of get away from it, go fishing, whatever, and take advantage of the low gas prices. But, man, if they're closing lakes down, man, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what my job said. So me working with the government, how I do, I was highly encouraged by our top boss, all civilians, to just take leave. If you have leave, take leave, and you get paid. But then we had a confirmed case where I'm at work, and they put all DOD civilians on admin leave. So unless you're mission essential, so the people that are leave on not at work right now, they're getting paid, and that's another thing, because that is people that we're fortunate for that. I can still provide for my family. Not everyone can do that. My biggest thing for this, the whole thing going on is there's people like you said earlier, waitresses, bartenders, live paycheck to paycheck, and now they don't have a paycheck. So people are going to lose their houses. They're going to lose their car notes, everything. And every time I wake up at home, since I'm working from home and go work from home, I think how fortunate I am that I have that option. And, it makes me think about the people that can't. Like my mother, she's a waitress. Her restaurant's been shut down. And just there's so many people that this is going to financially cripple marriages, families, and it's going to sting, and it's going to take a long time to recover. And it's so sad. And then you got people that can't even get unemployment because the unemployment servers are starting to have issues now. They can't even sign up online. And
the thing is too, though, I mean, I imagine most grocery stores are probably hiring right now, for night stalkers or whatever, to try to help out. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that isn't going to give every person a job that is out of a job. But I mean, if you really need a job, I imagine that, like grocery stores would probably hire you right now. I mean, like with ours are crazy. I mean, if you go to the grocery store, you're looking at spending at least 2 hours in that thing just in line. I mean, people are just getting it as fast as they can, unload it off the truck, But, I mean, that's what I don't understand. I mean, other than this whole social distancing or whatever this bullshit that they're calling it, I mean, like, other than that, like, our lives really haven't changed. Like, why buy all the toilet paper as soon as it comes off the truck? Why are we going nuts?
Because it's panic buying, man. So it's something that just blows my mind is
it's nuts, dude.
I'm just like, my wife says I've been stressed out because I'm not stressed out about the virus. Like, give me the virus. That's cool. Like the recovery rate's great, but the way that people are acting, I think, is what's really stressing me out. It's really just pissing me off.
I mean, like, I'm a salesman. That's what my job is. And a lot of my customers have eyes on the window. You can't come in the building. If you're there to deliver something, you honk the horn, they'll come out and get it, and they'll sign their ticket, whatever. But you're not to get out. You're not to make any kind of contact with them, this, that, and the other. And which is fine. But, like, this is one of my big concerns. This is the big thing that I was talking about when, before we came live, I said I wanted to bring it up pretty early. A lot of these people that have never owned or never even touched or had proper training on firearms are going out and buying firearms and ammo.
Mm-hmm.
This scares me as an American because, for one, if you ask me, I think everybody should be trained on how to use a firearm. My 12 and 13-year-old girls know how to use a firearm, and they know how to, they know how to load it. They know how to properly shoot it. They know how to properly handle one. I mean, they know how to handle a firearm. But there's a lot of people out there that do not. Mm-hmm. And they're first-time gun owners, and they're having these guns, this ammo at their disposal. It scares me.
Well, yeah, so it's happening here too. Like, it came to the point where I had to, I was looking for a box of rounds for a particular gun, and I went, and they had signs all over the place. 2 boxes of ammo per person. Okay, so what I'm getting at is you're talking about all these people that have this, that are just going out and buying guns. It's all part of the panic mentality. It's all part of the mob mentality They see people do it. The same thing with toilet paper. I'm not even gonna lie. I went to a grocery store where I work, and I was there right before they opened. There's a line out the door, and everyone ran straight to the toilet paper aisle. And it's pretty funny because there's no toilet paper. Like there's no toilet paper when they got there. So, but that's the same thing with guns. And then it bogged down the system where I live so much because of all these new gun owners that you can usually get a readback to buy a weapon within 30, 45 minutes. When I bought my weapons here, that's how it was. It's taken up to 14 days now for people to to get their readbacks. And I heard everything from 4 to 14 days. That's ridiculous. But it's all that panic mentality. And
that
I'll
is
tell
nuts.
Yes. I mean, when I lived in Texas, I think that was 15 minutes max. Like
the last gun I bought over the counter. I picked out my gun, I filled out my paperwork, and as the lady was doing my ticket, my readback came back by the time that she had it all drawn up and serial number all written down, all that crap, that they do. And I mean, it was that quick. I can't imagine going and waiting 4 to 14 days to get my gun.
I probably wouldn't like it.
Just nuts, man.
But anyways, that's what is causing it, man. And I'll be the first to tell you, and I'll fight you all day on this. The way that the media is covering this shit, I don't agree with at all.
No.
At all.
And then we got Trump wanting to do the stimulus package, and then the Democrats shoot it back, and then they send it back, and then they're not agreeing on it. I mean, you might as well just call it what it is. It ain't. I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But I mean, I hate to talk about my political views on here,
and we should.
There's a certain someone, there's a certain someone that is driving me freaking insane.
Don't even say the name. That's not why we're here.
I just don't understand how this person is still breathing. I mean, I think this person is so retarded that they need to take their bottom lip and pull it over their top lip and just over the top of their head and just swallow and be done with it. Just done. I'm off of it, but it pisses me off. Stupid.
Well, yeah, and let's go back to the panic mentality that I follow this. I don't post a whole lot of stuff on Facebook, just stupid shit for the most part. And last night, so Denver is officially on lockdown as of 5:00 today. Yep, Denver is officially on lockdown. And last night they announced it to give people all their time to do whatever they had to do. Go, try to buy toilet paper, I guess. But then the mayor labeled liquor stores and marijuana dispensaries non-essential. So within 2 hours of him announcing liquor stores and marijuana dispensaries will be shut, there were people lined up in lines around the blocks. And then they caught so much flack from it. In 2 hours, they changed it and said, okay, we're not going to shut down the liquor stores or the dispensaries. Like, it's like someone yells fire and then everyone yells fire instead of doing something about the fire, if that makes sense. Everyone just starts freaking out. And I think that's what really struck me out. And then I have different.
What do I do with my hands?
Exactly. I just have so many different. Man. But I want to go back to the job part of it. So not only is this going to financially, we're going to see probably a ridiculous divorce rate. We're going to see a ridiculous amount of bankruptcies. We're going to see a ridiculous amount of, liens on people's houses. It's just, we're going to, I'm not
the housing market is about to be nuts.
Yeah. Like, I'm not an expert at this shit, but when people don't have houses because they can't afford them, you know what happens then? They become homeless, right?
Yeah.
So are we going to see a
Yeah.
spike in homelessness? And then if you follow the stock market, I've been following it for.
Then you start seeing the looting. Then you start seeing all the.
Well, that's the thing. That's
burglaries, the murders go up, everything.
Yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine here in Aurora, and all it takes is I sent this meme out with this SEAL team that was going up some stairs, and it said going shopping with my buddies at my neighbor's house with guns and all that stuff. That's all it takes is one time, and then people look at that.
Oh yeah,
because I know as a father that I'm gonna have to. I'll do whatever I have to do to provide for my 3 girls in my house, my wife and two kids.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Never am I sitting here thinking, shit, I'm gonna go home invade this house. Like, I mean, I would have no issue breaking into stores if I had to. That's great, but all it takes is one person, and I can't stress this enough to people, and then people get the idea. Just like the one person that got the idea of the toilet paper, and the one person that got the idea of the baby wipes. And I went to.
Well, people are so impressionable right now.
Yes.
A guy that I work with, he just got his teeth pulled out because he got his dentures. He's an older guy. He was at the grocery store, and like he can't really eat right now, so he was getting those protein shakes. Those pre-made protein shakes or whatever, like every store has their own brand. Well, he had cases of them because that's all he could have, and there was somebody in line was like, you know what, that's a good idea. We can't get meat, we can't get eggs, let's go get some protein. Like didn't even take in consideration that this is an older gentleman that just had his teeth pulled.
Well, no one
cannot literally chew anything.
But that's been a problem in our world for a long time lately, since me and you've been alive. As the years go on, it seems like people have no consideration for people regardless. I mean, look at it.
None at all.
So,
I mean, they're not letting them, down here, they have certain shopping hours, I believe, for elderly people and and stuff like that, where they can get in and get their stuff. But at first it wasn't like that, and these older people weren't able to get the stuff they needed because people were just going nuts.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's crazy, man.
And it's gonna get worse before it gets better. We haven't even seen the worst of it, and that's my honest opinion.
I agree.
I don't know.
And everybody is freaking out about everything. I mean, like, you name it, they're going to freak out about it. It looks like Jamie posted on here. A lot of people she's been talking to in the dental field have been cashing out their PTO. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's my sister, and she her office closed down. And what's great about it is her office completely closed down. Everyone in that office.
Where is she living at?
She's in California. So
California, okay.
Yeah, I have my opinions. But anyways,
it's just crazy.
No, and people like that, like my sister, she loves her job. Like, there's people that want to work that just have no choice but to not work. And me being home the last week or so, it showed me I like my office a lot. I love my girls, but I need my office to get stuff done. So
yeah, I mean,
think about this. Think about this. Imagine being at your job, okay, and you're watching all this shit that's happening across the pond, and like, oh man, that sucks. Like, Italy's on lockdown. That's horrible. And then the next day you come into work, and hey, we're closing after today. That just throws everything that's essential to living life, your money, just throws it out. Like, then what? You don't have a plan where no one really thinks, unless you're in a really volatile job, no one really thinks that they're going to come into work and then be told they're not going to have a paycheck the next day.
Well, and and also, that's one good thing about where I work. It's a family-run business, and when all this went on, the president and the vice president, they're a married couple of my company, they were on a cruise ship when all this happened. Like when the oil prices dropped to nothing, the stock market shut down, they were gone that week when all that happened. And so, we went a week of, like wondering, okay, well, when they get back, what's going to happen? Well, they ended up not getting back to work till a couple of days into the next week. They should have been there sooner, but their boat couldn't dock, so they had to go down to Miami and then fly in. And that morning that they came in, they had a meeting with everyone at the building or in the building and said, look, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna push through this. We're gonna try not to lay people off. We may trim fat, like somebody who's not really 100% with the company, we may trim some fat or whatever. But if you're here, you're doing 100% for us. We're going to do 100% to make sure that you still have a job to come to. Now, there's some people that might get their out, like our machine shop went to 40 hours, or, they cut a little bit of hours, cut a little bit here and there or whatever. But the thing is, we're all still working. And that's the big thing. We all still have a job. And in our industry right now, like I'm in the oil field, but I'm on the production side. And that saves me a lot of headache being on the production side. But we're actually not doing horrible with everything that's going on. It's forcing a lot of people. It's forcing a lot of people to, re-quote out the stuff that they've been buying. They're being forced to buy it from a cheaper vendor, which we're coming up on some of the things we're selling to some people we haven't sold to before. We're getting meetings with people that we haven't had meetings with. We're getting to get out there more now that, this has happened, for the fact that, times are hard. Times are real hard. And a lot of the places that I call on, like I went to a store today, they laid off some people. They let some people go because they just had to, whatever, because the oil field's slowing down. And I mean, it's rough out there right now. And if you have a job, whether it's, I don't care what your job is, but right now is not the time to go find a new career.
No.
In anything.
No.
No. I mean, that's just not,
No, what I was getting at with that is, okay, yeah, you're fortunate that you're still working. You're on a double-edged sword, though. You got this going on, but if oil prices drop $12 a barrel, like they're saying, what do you got then?
I mean,
so you've actually seen the oil field do that before.
Not this low. I've seen it drop, but not this low. I think the last time it's been this low was way before I ever got into the oil field. Now, my dad had told me back in the 80s, I think back in the 80s, it dropped down to like $8 a barrel. And it was real, it was real crazy. But it only lasted about 6 months, 7 months. And then when it jumped back up, I mean, it went from like $8 a barrel to like some ungodly amount, like 80, like almost overnight, and I mean, it was just nuts. I mean, our town wasn't ready for it. We didn't have housing. We didn't have, whatever. And seeing that's something that I've talked to some of my customers about that scares me about the whole thing is, you start making cuts, you start laying people off. And in this business, overnight, things could kick off. and say you lay everybody off except your upper management, and you're running on a skeleton crew. Everybody there's just working their ass off, just trying to keep the doors open. And then the next day you come in and oil's at $80 a barrel where it's been at 10. And then all of a sudden you don't have enough people. And then you're trying to hire people. Well, then these people that are laid off, if they have any experience, they're going to be a little selective on where they decide to go to work. They're like, shit, man, I can either go back to my job that I had, or I can go over here and make this much money, or this, and then it becomes fight to try to find people, and yeah. I mean, it's like a vicious cycle. It doesn't matter.
So I think I know you're not the only one in oil field that might be watching, but let's switch gears a little bit and go back to what I was getting at. Okay, so me and you we're fortunate enough to be working. For the people that's not, we already talked about how it's going to bring financial burden, stuff like that. So, and then it goes back to, okay, we talked about the homeless, but what's the number one, I don't want to say the number one cause. What's one of the biggest causes of suicide? Financial burden. People just think they can't make it.
I agree.
There's no way out,
That's gonna be crazy, man. I mean, I don't know.
We're gonna watch this. This country's gonna hit rock bottom. Which, like I said earlier, if you follow the stocks and where we're at and stuff like that, we're almost there. Almost as bad as 2008. It's getting to that point. But then we're just going to have this huge other epidemic. They call this an epidemic. We're going to have this huge other epidemic. And like I said, I'm not a professional. This is just what I've been thinking about.
Yeah, I agree. Me too.
Just maybe I'm thinking about it all wrong. I hope I am. I really do.
Man, I hope we're all wrong. I hope April 1st Trump comes out and says, "Hey, April Fools."
Yeah.
I was just seeing how we would do in a crisis.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be awesome, but I doubt that's what's going to happen.
I skimmed through an article. I won't talk on it too much because I need to read the full thing, sit down without distractions. But some doctors, even doctors I know that are psychologists and stuff like that, they're already claiming that the mental health rate is significantly going up, like not going up in a negative way.
But more claims.
Already.
Yeah, more claims of it.
Yeah. But then
and that's like, I don't mean to talk about her, or I'm not saying it bad, but my ex-wife is freaking out about this thing. I called her yesterday and was like, hey, let me hang on to my girls a little longer, because I mean, like, she's freaking out about all this stuff. And she has a pretty good job, and she's still working, thankfully. I mean, but she's got her oldest daughter there, and her boyfriend lives with her. I told her, I was like, look, that's 2 more mouths to feed. That's 2 more asses to wipe. Let me hang on to them just a little bit longer, to kind of keep them, keep you sane. Because I mean, when I talk to her, man, like, you can just hear the fear in her voice. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. I mean, it's just like,
yeah.
The thing is, I was taught when I was young. I was taught when I was a young kid, there's always going to be somebody who has it better than you and somebody who has it worse than you. And, the more I think, like, oh my God, this sucks, like me being a salesman, I go to different towns. When I go to those different towns, I check out their grocery store to see if they have anything that might be essential for my house, being that my girls are here. I know that sounds shitty or whatever, but I mean, hell, I went to a town 45 miles away from here last week and was able to get chicken and ground beef on sale. I was able to get some waters, I mean, just little stuff like that that we took for granted. But, it's like we were talking this weekend. What this is doing, I mean, there's only silver lining in everything. I mean, we can sit here and bitch and complain about everything that's going wrong, but why not look at the silver lining of the fact that families are spending time together now. They're forced into spending time together. Um, you
Well,
know,
first,
with the
before you, first off, you're saying that from a point of a person that has a job. So to the people that don't have jobs anymore, there's no silver lining for that. You know what I mean?
No, there's not. There's not.
It's kind of hard to kind
There's
of look.
not, and I agree. But I mean, like say you take a family where the dad is, frequents a bar down around the corner, and when he gets off work, he'll stop by, have a few drinks with his buddies, come home, just in time to kiss his kids goodnight and, spend some time with his wife. And then he goes to sleep and he's up early and goes to work in the next day. Or you take, these moms that are, like these single moms that work, these shifts while they're at school. And, like I've got a friend of mine that, like this, this whole homeschooling thing, like a lot of these parents are just like kind of confused, like, oh my God, I'm having to homeschool. I'm having to teach my child.
That blows my mind.
And my thing is, how many of these parents that are doing homeschooling right now, I mean, look at how many of them probably dropped out of school and probably don't know what the kids are doing. I mean, I was looking at my daughter's math, what she's doing in the 8th grade. I remember doing in high school, like my 11th, 12th grade year. I mean, like, I can't believe it's just the progression of the stuff that they're learning these days. I mean, they're way ahead of schedule compared to when I went to school. And so even if you do have that high school diploma, I mean, how are you going to teach your child something when you don't even fully understand it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we have professionals. That's why we have people in place that do what they do. I mean, let's go back to what Jamie was saying. I didn't think I wouldn't have a paycheck. I just paid my schooling off with my tax return. I was supposed to get my raise with the next couple of weeks. Now I'm waiting for unemployment. Very, very stressful. Thought we would be considered essential being healthcare system. Times are about to get harder. You know what? I mean, Jamie's right. Like I was talking, like the guy that I was talking about that got his teeth pulled that was having to drink all the protein. Today he was supposed to get his stitches out. Well, he called the dentist office and told them, said, hey, what time do you want me there to get my stitches out? And they're like, well, we're not, we may not be open. We may not be able to help you. And he was like, bullshit. You're getting these fucking stitches out of my mouth. I offered to get them out with a pair of needle nose and a box knife, but he wouldn't let me.
It's not that hard to take them out.
Nah, I figured I could have.
I don't know. I'm not a dentist either. So, speaking about my sister, the other tough thing for her is she's in dental school. I can't remember. Don't hold me to the name. She's an assistant right now, but she's going a step higher or something like that. And I think she had 2 weeks of class left. And this girl, she works 7 days a week. She goes Monday to Friday, and she has school on the weekend. They canceled her school. Like, what about all these kids that are seniors in high school?
Yes.
You know, like
I mean,
what about that?
they canceled the rodeo in Houston this year.
I
I
saw
mean,
that.
how many people? I mean, there's kids that have been in FHA and FFA their whole fucking life and waiting for the senior year to go show at the fucking Houston Stock Show and Rodeo, and they cancel it. I mean, like, I've got a kid that I coached when he was young that had a chance to, you know, to get a football scholarship, but he wanted to wait to see what he got track wise. He did 3 meets. They canceled all the track meets.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, like, dude, what the hell?
I just wonder.
I mean, like,
I just like throughout all this, I'd like to know what someone like is going through without a job. Like, what is their day to day now? Like, how are they looking ahead? What's their way ahead now? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, if it were me in this situation, the first thing I would do is probably reach out to family. You know, hey, look, things got rough for me. Do you have any odd jobs around your house? Maybe rebuild a fence, mow your grass, do something, do something to try to make any kind of money, but I would be willing to trade labor for it, Now, I don't know that everybody that lost a job or, is going to lose a job have the same opportunities, because I mean, is at the rate that we're going, say it was a family run restaurant, your whole family worked at that restaurant and they, shut down the restaurant. I mean, like, can you imagine like the whole family? That's grandma, grandpa, dad, mom, daughter, and son.
I just read something like that here. And this guy he owned the restaurant and he employed, of course, all his, employees, dishwashers, cooks, whatever. Well, he lost restaurant and his house. He said by the next month, my restaurant and house is gone. So those jobs are completely wiped out. It just doesn't stop, man. This is, like I said, we're going to feel the fallout from this for a very long time. And I hope I'm wrong.
And I hope we're wrong too. But, if you look at the events, man, it looks like another Great Depression is among us. I mean, I really feel that it could get that bad. Especially with all the knee-jerk reactions of let's go get all the toilet paper, let's go get all the eggs, let's go get all the water, let's go, I mean, and all these people that made fun of these preppers, these guys that have these.
I know a couple of them.
I do too. They have these underground tunnels full of canned goods and MREs and ammo, and I mean, everybody that made fun of these guys are now looking at them like, got any toilet paper? got any beanie weenies in there? Beans and rice around here.
Oh, you can't even find it here. Yeah, you can't find it.
No.
Yeah, if people listen to Dave Ramsey, he's a financial. He gives financial advice, and he always says that that's the poor man's diet: beans and rice, because it'll get you through, but you can't find it.
Yeah,
you can't find it.
You can't find it. Yeah. Nora's put on here, Walmart and other grocery stores are hiring people to stock shelves. That's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. I imagine they would be. Shit. Yeah. I mean,
and to circle back on the grocery stores, I found out today, I don't know if it's everywhere, but a couple of local Costco's we have, they open up an hour early and then stay open an hour later here where I'm at, which is good.
Oh, wow.
I mean, gives people more opportunity to wait in line for 3 hours.
But if your town's on lockdown, how the fuck are you gonna go shopping?
And that's what we're gonna find out. I don't know. I don't know.
We got longer hours, but you can't leave your house, bitch.
Yeah,
what the hell, man? This is nuts. This is absolutely probably the worst thing that we'll ever have to see as a country.
in our life.
I mean, short of having a war here, short of having a war fought on our land, this is probably the worst thing that we could see in our country, And the thing is like everybody is out for themselves right now. I know some churches and some people are trying to do some good things, trying to help out, whatever. But man, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I know.
Norris said only 10 are allowed in the store at a time. What about the workers? What about the workers?
I think he's an
Norris, where you at?
What are they calling the shit we're supposed to do? The What are we supposed to? We're supposed to not talk to be within 6 feet. What are they calling that?
People social distancing or some shit. I don't know.
Distancing. Social distancing. Shit, I already don't like people a whole lot, so that's going all right for me.
I mean, honestly, this hasn't been a big hit for me because I stay at the house a lot anyways.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, it's like it says that our goal is to keep the vulnerable from getting it. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
And I get it, Norris. I understand the whole point of the social distancing, but why the fuck haven't we been doing it from the beginning?
I have.
Why do we have to touch a motherfucker? Why do we have to walk up to somebody and just touch them? I mean, I'm up for a handshake, a knuckle pump, maybe even a hug if you're family. But other than that, like, why do we feel the need to go up and just touch somebody?
Yeah, and another.
We're not dogs. We sniff each other's asses to see who it is.
Yeah, I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I just get upset. And I think my wife has noticed it. So my wife is awesome, even though she pisses me off sometimes. I mean, I think every wife does.
Nah, she's a saint.
Yeah, no, my wife has been amazing because, like I said earlier, I've been stressing out over how people are acting. But my wife, she hasn't shown any signs of stress, any signs of freaking out, nothing like that. And if, like you said, your ex-wife,
the thing is too. Oh, she's.
But here's the thing. But what I'm getting at is, just imagine if Norris, I'm going to go back to what you just said too. Imagine if you had a family with 2 kids like I do, and I'm not overly stressed where I'm like freaking out, but imagine both parents are in that situation where they're just completely stressed to the max. Like that would be insane. I got my wife to reel me back in, so a lot of people don't have that either. What about the single mothers, like you said earlier? Yeah. What about the stay-at-home moms who's freaking out, but the dad, like, I don't know.
Well, I will say this about, guys, if you have a baby mama out there that has your kids, you need to check on them.
Yeah.
If not for her, for them kids. I mean, my kids are here with me, and I'm trying to help her out. I'm not saying I'm a saint. Me and my ex-wife, we don't always see eye to eye on everything. We probably don't see eye to eye on this whole situation. But the thing is I'm helping her out by having them here. I mean, dude, take what groceries you can find over there to them, try to help them out. I hear from people that I know that are telling me that their baby daddy or whatever hadn't even called to check on their kids or anything. And I'm just like, how the fuck can you do that during this time?
Well, people are people, man. It's like I said, I'm fortunate.
When it gets better, I wonder how many people are going to learn from this. Maybe put some money up in savings. Maybe,
I'm glad you said that. So that's another thing. We're in a generation where people live paycheck to paycheck, and what really sucks is people that do that. It took something like them losing their job with no vision of future income for them to realize maybe I should do better with money, right? Because now they're at the point where they don't have the chance. Now you go back, 50 years. You want to call them the boomers, whatever you want to call them. They actually knew to put money away. You know what I mean? So now we're in the there's so many damn names for the, what are the Gen Xers and what?
Millennials and Gen Xers.
Whatever the fuck it is. Hey, they like to have fun and they enjoy life, and that's great. But it all comes back to like, it sucks. It took something like this to make
them see it.
Exactly.
My parents, they're not rich by no extent of the imagination, but my dad is a very, very future oriented person. My dad's, the last few years had been fighting this cancer and stuff like that. And he's doing leaps and bounds better. He's not completely out of the woodshed yet. He's out of the cancer stage. We just got a few things that they got to work on, like some infections he got from his last surgery, stuff like that. But the thing is, the place he works has been paying him like he's been at work every day, in which they didn't have to do that, which, that just goes to show the kind of guy that my dad works for is amazing. But, the thing is, my dad is one of those people, he will save money, but it's taken him years to get there. I know it has, but he's always got like a 20 on him, at least a 20 or something on him in case he runs into an emergency and has to buy something, but, for somebody who, took care of things before, right now, he's not stressing about it. Now, I'm sure they got some stress over some hospital bills and whatever that the insurance won't cover or whatever. But, you look at my dad, he's calm as a cucumber right now. I went over there Sunday night, ate with my parents, and all he can think about is he's ready to get this infection and stuff taken care of so he can go back to living a normal life.
Yeah.
Whatever normal may be when all this, ends up. It's
now, yeah, and I want to go back to Norris's thing. Is if you all don't figure out how to manage your stress, God, this is going to eat at you and eat at you. We need
all day, every day.
You need to figure out what you got to do to manage your damn stress. And Denver. We're at you've been to my house, Wadzik. You know that big park that's right to us?
Yeah.
I have never in my life seen so many people outside enjoying the day.
Oh, I know, right?
Like no cell phones, just everyone out there. And it's just,
yeah,
I don't know. And when I see that, it's kind of like, okay, like at least people are trying to get out of the house because, you have people, there's a word for it, I'm not sure, that won't leave their house.
Oh, yeah.
Hermits? Well, there's an actual term for it where it's a I don't want to say
like
disease.
Like a disorder?
Yeah, disorder. Yeah. And I'm like, there's people hunkering down with their blinds shut and they're just sitting there.
Like picking up like, what the fuck?
I'm going to tell you something funny right now, but I don't know if it's appropriate, but I'm going to anyway. So we got that Ring doorbell,
Yeah.
and I fucking hate when people come to my door, right? And I saw these people walking up to my door, and they rung my doorbell. So I get on my phone and you can talk to them. So I have a no solicitation sign and all this cool shit, and everyone just completely ignores it. Well, they ring my doorbell, and my wife's sitting there, and I said,
Oh yeah.
"Hey, this house is under quarantine," and everyone I've never seen anyone leave so fast off my doorstep. But then I'm like, should I have done that? I don't know about that. You know what I mean?
Under quarantine. The house is under quarantine. Holy shit,
Yeah.
that's good.
And they didn't ask any questions. They just took off. But no, I don't know.
Yes,
I think
sir.
everyone's losing their mind. So everyone needs to just relax. Relax. Relax.
Well, see, I talked to my buddy like this last weekend. Me and my girl didn't really get to get out and do anything. I got a buddy of mine that has a ranch around Brownwood, which is about a 3.5, 4 hour drive from here. And he told me, he said, "Hey, look, dude, this weekend, if you want, bring the girls out. We'll fish in my little creek. We'll barbecue. We'll do whatever. Just, and honestly, man, I'm really thinking about taking my girls down there just so they can, see something other than the house.
Why yeah.
There's nothing to do here. We can't go to the movie. We can't go to the movies. We can't go, can't go to the mall. Can't go. I mean, my girls have been begging me for a Starbucks coffee, or a Starbucks drink. And I'm like, I'm not waiting in a 2-hour line for, the drive-through. And I'm not going to wait in a 2-hour drive-through line for a fucking overpriced coffee.
Why the hell is it 2 hours long? People are losing
Dude, it is freaking nuts. I will send you a picture the next time I drive by the place.
Oh, Jamie just said teach them to hunt and gather. I'm sure they're going to be just fine.
Oh yeah,
they'll be just fine.
Oh yeah, my kids already know how to hunt, fish. They know how to. Oh yeah, they're all about it. My daughters, when they were 8 and 9 years old, were filling feeders.
we're just in a weird time, man. And I think that's why we wanted to kind of talk to people, see how everything is. And, and it goes back to my wife is keeping me – go ahead. Hold on. So my wife is keeping me cool-headed on things, and I'm just stressing out how people react. Like I said earlier, the damn corona it's the virus. But then you see it just adds to mass panic. I saw a whole family get out of their car at the store 3 days ago. 6 of them with masks and gloves and those little booties on their feet and all that shit. Like, Weber! I saw Weber.
Weber. Hey, yo. I think this is a great time for families to teach your kids the stuff that didn't get taught in school. Cleaning house, folding laundry, how to vacuum the floor, how to, load the dishwasher correctly, how to, the stuff that they don't teach you that in school. And a lot of parents these days, it's hard for them to get their kids off their phone or their video game long enough to learn all this stuff. Now's the perfect time to spend time with your kids to teach them that stuff. Teach your boys how to change the oil in the car. Do stuff like that with them.
So that's funny you said get them off the phones and stuff like that. So I noticed we used to let our little girl watch kitty cat videos on a tablet for a little bit. And then we just noticed her attitude was getting real shitty sometimes when you say tablet's over, right? Dude, she hasn't had the tablet for, I don't know,
Yeah. Take it away.
No, we took it away. Yeah, we absolutely took it away. And she's been 95% just delightful. She had a little breakdown at the park where I had to go get her right before we did this. But maybe it's time for a cleanse. It's time for a cleanse of social stuff. Now, I'm playing the new Call of Duty, so that's not going to happen for me. So, being the man of the house, I
get off the game. Your daddy needs it.
But no, yeah, maybe it's right. It's time to teach the certain things. It's people don't use checkbooks anymore. How do you read your bank statement? How do you read?
Yeah.
How do you
even balance a checkbook?
Even give them fucking allowance and a budget, just a semi-simple budget, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I agree. I agree 100%.
I think that would be, I noticed a lot of churches Sunday were doing their sermons online, and that's a sad thing when people can't even go to their own churches. I mean, that is something that, that's one of our things, freedom of religion, freedom, and they're not even being able to go to their churches.
It's not that they're not allowed to, bud. It's they just don't want everyone together. And I have a whole different opinion on this than I think most people do. It's just following the main people. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. And if the churches close it, that's cool. And at least they're getting their freedom of religion still online.
Yeah, they're still getting their religion, but I mean, back when I was younger and I went to church, I mean, like First Baptist Church here in Odessa, they've always televised their church service on Sundays. But watching a church service on TV is nothing like being at a church. I mean, it's totally different.
Yeah, but then you got the people that are, I'll say his name right now, Richard James. He is a cougar with us, and he put on Facebook he's watching church with his family online, and you can tell they're making the best of it. And that's great. We need people to try to make the best of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's not fall. It's so hard, though. It's so hard to not say, let's not fall in a negative mindset here.
Yeah. I mean, we got to stay positive. We got, and that's something that we talked about at work when the bosses came in and said, look, we're going to try everything we can not to let anybody go or whatever. When we had that talk, one of the things that they were talking to us as salesmen, one of the things they brought up is, look, we got to stay positive when we go talk to our customers. It's none of this gloom and doom stuff. We got to be positive about things because we're still in a good place.
Yeah. No, we are. And
I mean,
I have something that's kind of starting to eat at me that I was talking to my wife about. Like, I'm able to telework. And I told my boss, it's easier for me to be in my office. I don't mind going to work. I don't.
Yeah.
And so I went last week, just 2 days, just for a few things that I needed in my office. And I went this morning at about 7:30. And I walk in and everyone's just cutting up. Like, all the active military members, I work with military, they're just cutting up. And I was like, that's how everyone's doing. And they're doing great. So I'm like, we need more of this. But then my boss comes in. He's like, hey, maybe you should only be at work for a little bit and then go on because it's pretty much directed civilians, stay home as much as possible.
Right.
But that kind of made me like happy. I'm like, okay, at least everyone's in good spirits that I work with, and this is
Yeah.
great. This is fantastic.
Good news.
I mean, shit. I don't know. People are falling off, and it's not like how was Midland, Odessa reacting to their first death of it? That just happened today.
Uh, hmm. I mean, I don't know. I don't really. I mean, I've tried to kind of keep away from, like the negative output or whatever. And honestly, I didn't even know that we had a death yet.
Yeah, you guys.
So, I mean, honestly, I don't know how we're dealing with it because I didn't even know about it. Now it'll it'll probably be the talk of the town tomorrow. Like I had to go to Seminole. Seminole had some, or Gaines County had a couple of cases, or one or two cases, or whatever. I had to go make a delivery there the last 2 days. It's not like I'm going to the hospital and hanging out in these people's rooms or anything. But even when I came back, everybody's like, "Oh, I hope you didn't get the coronavirus up there in Gaines County or whatever." And it's like, well, okay. I mean, like, it's so stupid.
If I hear that fucking joke one more time, you got the corona?
Oh, yeah, you got the corona, don't you? Yeah, that's what I got.
Hey, so my sister just said something that I want to touch on. Use resources in a positive way. And she's very right, because it's not funny, but what I've noticed is there is a bunch of resources coming out for people that may not have toilet paper, can't make rent, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try to consolidate what I can find and put it on the Bellwether No page. And maybe if people want to look onto that and see what they can, how it can help them, I think that'd be, I'll do my part. To see what I can find.
And in these hard times, you're going to see a lot of people that are seeking an answer, whether it be through religion or through, like we've had people talk about different books or whatever, that if you're going to start seeing a lot of people trying to lean on something to, to believe in during this time, and it's, I mean, Widener, you had the same thing that I did, and it was always embrace the chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, we embrace it, we move on from it, and I had a guy at work today. We were kind of talking, I don't really talk about my military at work unless somebody brings it up. If somebody asks me a question, I'll answer whatever questions they have. And, one of the things he asked me was, like, do you wish you were still in right now, with everything that's going on? And honestly, I can say yes, because I know that the type of people that we had in our unit, if this was going on, it would be, I mean,
yeah.
You're talking about these guys at your work that were cutting up, having a good time. I mean, I don't think anybody cut up and had a better time than the Cougars did. I mean, like,
it always didn't turn out good, though.
It depends on who you ask if it turned out good. But I mean, but in the same breath, it was like when it didn't matter what we were doing, as long as we were doing it together, and if we were all in this together, I think that we probably wouldn't even know how bad it really was out here.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is as long as, a long time, it took me a long time to start watching the news after I got out, because it seemed like the news just pissed me off every time I watched it.
You sound like my wife. She doesn't
It
watch.
does.
She doesn't watch.
It
It's
pissed me off so bad. People would try and talk, politics or talk. Well, did you see on the news? Fuck no, I didn't see what's on the news. I don't want to know what's on the news. I don't care what's on the news. I didn't start watching the news until probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I started kind of watching. I watch the local news. I try not to watch like, like your major news networks.
There you go.
But I try not to watch the majors, but I do watch like the local news. And, I do know that like a lot of hospitals are asking, for donations for these masks and, like protective equipment, stuff like that. But on my way to work today, I heard something on the radio that blew my mind. And, I gotta tip my hat to these people. These blood drive vehicles that will go out mobily, set up somewhere, and let you come, donate blood.
Yeah.
They are up and running. They need blood, and people aren't donating right now. Everybody's scared to do it. And the thing is, like, it's like they said in the article on the news or on the radio this morning, was one pint of blood or one donation could help up to 4 people. And I understand that this coronavirus is not, you're not going to need new blood to get past it or whatever. It's just a virus that's got to pass through, just like the flu virus or, whatever. But there are still tragedies that happen every day where people need blood. And,
sure.
I didn't even think about these blood banks running dry during all of this because people are scared to go donate.
I didn't either. And that's all part of the people just
the hysteria of it all.
Yeah. I've donated blood pretty much my whole adult life. Yeah, and we need more of that. Yeah.
They were saying like type O blood or whatever. That's what they're really needing a lot of, and man,
that's what I have too.
It's just crazy.
Maybe I should look into that. But
I have AB positive.
There's also a lot of people that are doing good in this time too. Like my sister's dental office, they closed down and they are given all the supplies, medical supplies that they can afford to give, and they're donating it, which is great.
Yeah.
Cleaning
That's
supplies.
Good. We're helping each other.
Yeah, we have this woman at work who I won't say her name. She does her best to and she goes on Facebook and she says, "Here's what I have. Who needs it?" Yeah. And she gives the stuff away, So there's a lot of people trying to do a lot of good too, and we need more of that. We
do really need more of that. Well, we need that regardless.
In general,
of what's going on.
Yes.
In general, we need good people. It's kind of been a dinosaur of the genuinely good people that, it seems like a lot of people have adapted this whole me theory. I'm going to get mine before anybody else can even think about taking it away whatsoever, or whatever. We need to get out of these selfish ways of thinking, these selfish ways of wanting to conduct our lives that way.
But that's not going to happen for a long time.
No, it's not. And I mean, all I can say is people get what you need and leave the rest for somebody else who might need it. It's getting fucking ridiculous out here.
Yeah. Well, people just stay positive as you can. Embrace your families. Embrace. Yeah, I just got a work call. Not trying to cut everyone off, but we got to stay positive as we can. And I believe things are only going to get worse before they get better. And everyone, I'm going to stay in that mindset. I'm not telling everyone that they should, but I guess with that being said, use your resources. I'm going to try to gather what I have and put them up on the Bellwether No page. And then, so I found someone that we are going to try to have on soon, and there's more to come on that. I think it'd be a great,
Yeah.
I think it'd be a great person to have. So
Yeah.
I'll get in there, and I'm also going to reach back out to a couple of the doctors that I know, and
Yes.
see how they're.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think I'm going to go put my kid to bed and then spend some time with the wife. We just wanted to catch up and say we're here. And if you have any questions or anything, just give us a shot or a shout, and we'll do what we can.
Yeah, guys, be sure to like and share. Go check us out on YouTube. Man, we love y'all, and y'all stay safe and take care of your loved ones. We'll see you soon.
All right, y'all. Have a good evening.